We are on week number 2. The next 7 days. We did a lot the first 7. And the car's coming along great. But I need to go faster or do more. And some of the stuff that I'm going to do now is just tedious stuff. But it's going to be fun. Okay, let's get into this one. Day 1. It is Saturday. And we are kicking off week number 2. Week number 2. We're going to do another 7 days. Add up, get the second week done. And like we talked about before, I'm going to start, we're going to jump all over the place this next week or so because we got so much stuff to do in that short 7 days. But one of the things we're going to tear apart is we're going to talk about the motor that we're putting in Sloppy. Is it super fancy? No, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be good. Going to be good. We're also going to get the transmission mounted on there, cut the tunnel. You can see I've got all the floors wire brushed and cleaned. I even, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's the start of a new week. Let's get it done. This is the engine that's going to go in Sloppy. We're going to pop it apart. We're going to talk about all the cool stuff that we're done to it or doing to it. It's simple little bolt-on stuff, but it's a little tiny motor, and I think it's going to be kind of cool. Because like everything else we're doing, I don't know if I can you get in here a little closer and see this? Yeah, this is the cylinders are really nice. The pistons are real nicely done. You know, we pulled out the lifters. They're stock lifters. We're gonna replace all these. I have 2 options. I have some LS7 lifters, used of course out of an LS7, or we have some heavy-duty comp cam lifters. They have a wider roller on the end. They're really a nice heavy-duty unit. They are a little shallower on this depth side, so they do require a little shorter push rod, which is perfectly fine because we have a nice heavy-duty 80 thousandths thick wall push rod to go in there. So we're going to pull out all the old GM ones, and we're going to drop in this nice comp one with the heavy duty push rods. How's that? That'd be fun, right? And then we're going to pop it back together. We're going to put this BTR gasket back on top, and we will change the heads. These had the 706 heads. I do have a set of, I don't know what they call those. They're the 243 799 heads that we're going to put on there, and that we'll talk about some of the other stuff we've already done to it too. So let me get on this real quick. Saw the front of the motor, so I'll pull that off and you can see what we did here. You can't see it, But what I did is we did put in a, well, you see I put a new milling pump in there, a new milling oil pump. I think it's the 22, the 10 whatever it is, 26. So it's a high volume, high pressure. And then for a cam, what we did is we actually went to the GM. I went to the GM catalog and we got the Corvette 308 cam, which came in the Z06, which is a 405 horsepower cam. That's what they rated it at. Actually, I think it's a little bit more. You know, every one of those C5 Corvettes had the, when you got the Z06, it actually had a little bit more than that, but that's what they were rating it at. So we put the Z06 cam in there, the 308 from GM, the new milling high volume pump. We got the new comp lifters going in there. We got heavy duty push rods going in, and I know I'm going to switch to the 799 heads, which is the same thing that came on the Z06 engine. It's got the yellow, I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's got the yellow GM springs already on it. So we'll take these 706 heads off. We'll put the 799 243 heads on with a new gear, and we'll have a pretty stout little 4.8. That gonna be fun? That's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna spool pretty good. You know, it's gonna have a great cam from GM, a great oil pump, great lifters from Comp, great push rods from Summit. Looks good. Well, let me keep going from here. Well, that totally sucked. I have the wrong length ARP bolts I had laying around. I need the staggered ones for this engine. I didn't realize that, so I got to order another box of these. So that will be a few pennies. But in the meantime, I will switch to the other head. I'll pull the lifters out, put new push rods in, we'll put our heavy duties in, and we'll kind of get it back together, so then all we have to do is put the head bolts in and torque everything down. I've taken a few minutes, literally just a few minutes. I rolled in the transmission on that little dolly, and put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts to hold the transmission in place, then lifted it up onto the stand. Probably 15 minutes worth of work there. So I'll end up swinging it. We'll swing it in here, and then we'll see how much of that floor pan I've got to cut and bring up, as long as we're building stuff. All right, man. All right, this is this is exciting. Now you can see where we're at. So it's looking good. I've got to cut a little bit more tunnel there and bring it back, but I think I'll put this down a little bit more, and then we'll get underneath the car and lift the back of the transmission up, and I can start setting that angle, because we know the car because on the cribs, this is the actual ride height of the car, so we can set our pinion angles and transmission and engine angles now as we put it in. Okay, well, you can see got the engine pretty far back in there, almost where we should have it. Yeah, we're really close, but man, that transmission tunnel is just gonna hit the top of that transmission. So what I'll do is we'll just get underneath here real fast. This is why we did the cribs. And let's just get the back of the transmission up. I feel it hitting the car right there. Let's take a look. So we got a long ways to go. So we got a lot of tilt down. So that motor needs to come way up. Yep, and that transmission now is sitting right up against that floor tunnel. And there's a lot of space underneath there. Climb in here and take a look real fast. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's a ton of room, so that has to be, I don't know, do I cut it and split it open and then just build a top on it, or do I cut the sides? Do I cut the sides and lift the whole thing up and then put sides on it? No. I think I'll cut the sides, because then what I can do is I can make this tunnel, I can make the whole tunnel pop off, on and off, which would make it nice to work on. Yeah, because then I can leave, so I'll cut it down the side here and leave a section of it, lift that up, and then, you know, weld whatever I need to weld on there to extend it down, and I can slip it right back down over the top of this one, and I'll put some nut certs in there so you can bolt it into place. That would be cool. And so anytime you need to work on the back of the transmission, you can pop this on or off. I think that's the way it's gonna go. That'd be slick. Yep, that'd be slick. We let that jack down and mark it up, and I'll trim it. All right, tunnel's cut, and let's move the motor back in a little bit where we wanted it. don't know. Let's get back underneath it here. Let's get our transmission. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, that gets right up in there. Might want to go a little bit more, because let's bring the front of the motor up now, because I want that pan needs to be above the frame rails. It needs to come way up, and it needs to move over a little bit. So that's not bad. Move it in a little bit, I guess. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. That's not bad. Not high enough in the front. Need to come up more. Yeah. So I might have to cut the tunnel further back, which is okay. I was just trying not to cut that cross member so I didn't have to weld in a new brace there. But hey, you know, whatever. We want this to sit in a certain spot. So we need to get out of it exactly what we want. Yeah. That's pretty good. So yep, that tunnel will have to be cut higher in the middle too. All right, let me get on it. All right, well, we're at the point now where I need to cut more floor to get our engine and transmission up where I want it. So I can start building my motor mounts around the headers and frame. I think it's time to take the fenders back off, and that way it makes everything on the firewall much easier to work with. Yep, that's what we're gonna do, because I know this is the right height. We're all set with that. So what I'm trying to do now is I need the oil pan and everything to be above the lower frame rails height. I don't want anything hanging lower than the frame rails themselves. So, all right, time to take fenders off. I have to stop for a second because this is how my brain works. I'm looking in the car because I'm going to end up cutting that little tunnel section there. And then the minute I started walking away, oh, my pockets caught my eye that I welded last night. And then I started walking that direction where the tubing bender was, and I saw the roll bar, and I thought, I should put the roll bar in. That's what I'll do. Oh wait, I was going to cut the floor. Roll bar, floor, level motor. Yeah. That's the way my brain goes. Just, I want to do that, 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 I want to do that. So, I'm going to do that. What was that? Something fell. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like that. Come on. go look. It's going to be nice sitting on those plates. I think the height is correct. Looks good. Matches the shape. I'll put a fill plate right here so it really strengthens the sides of the car. Yeah. And what I mean by a fill plate, let me show you. Here we go. 16 gauge fill plate with some holes punched in it, so that'll go kind of like that. Of course, I'll cut it down to fit, but that's what we'll do. That way, these two and that go together. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. Well, the engine's sitting just about where I want it. I had to come back here and cut this because you can see the transmission hits. Now what it's actually hitting is this reinforcement on the floor. So what we'll end up doing is I will end up cutting this section of the reinforcement out and then bridge it up and over so it still has it there then when we build the rest of our tunnel. But yeah, we're pretty close. Looks like we have to open it up a little bit more. That turbo 350 is a little tight right in here. That's all right. We've got plenty of clearance on that side, which is good. Now that's where our pedal and stuff go. So we're going to see, you know, we're looking at it now, see if I can go more forward, more back. I'm going to put a seat in and see where everything goes. Yeah. Digging it. Digging it out. Well, I am sure this is going to be super boring for you guys, at least the next few segments of this. I'm going to spend some time. So I got a motor mount put in here. I got to cut this outer bracket shorter to fit up against the frame. I got to do both sides. That's where I want the motor. That's about it right there. And the reason I was picking that particular spot in height is that I've got the bottom of the oil pan higher than the frame rail and higher than the cross member, so it's not hanging below. And then we got our pinion angle correct, or engine angle correct, coming off the transmission to the back. And then I'll, you know, crawl underneath there and build. I don't even have to build a bracket. So motor mounts are going to be cool. They are from Paul Horton's, the welder series. And these are he does an LS bracket, and that's what I'll be using for the engine to the frame. And then on the transmission side, I have a nice cross member. This was designed, I believe, for the T56, but we're going to use it for the transmission we're doing. This is also from UMI. Nice kit from them. Like I said, it's a item that I had sitting around, so we're going to use it. Very nice. That's my next few minutes on this video, which is probably going to be about 2 hours or 3 hours worth of work. So we'll compress it down, so that way the video isn't too boring. Well, got the transmission. I mean, the whole engine assembly is kind of where I want it. We've got it down the center line right here, so we've got everything centered. I took a long time of measuring it. So I'm going to start cutting my motor mounts, new motor mount brackets. We're just going to cut a little bit off of here so we don't overshoot it, and then we'll come back and start trimming to make sure we get it to fit right. this. Oh no, I won't. It just misses the bump out. That's awesome. Okay. Heck yeah. There you can see, there's our first tack welds to put the motor mounts in place. So we plumb bobbed this, made sure it was centered, set our motor where we wanted it, moved it back. I think we were trying to figure that out. I think it was, how far back did we move that? I mean, I'm not worried about how far it goes into the firewall. I was just looking off the motor mount section. We went roughly back about 8 inches or so. So I think that's pretty good. Yep. You see right there, we got our second motor stands done. I gotta tack those in. We are good. There's our motor is center line where we had decided to put it. Excellent. All right. All right, you saw me tack in the 2 motor mounts. I'm gonna go back and put them in more, but before anybody out there in the internet world, on the World Wide Webbers, starts screaming, oh my God, you didn't do it right. Let me show you what I've done. So, like I've talked about before, having the chassis at the correct ride height. So we know that the chassis, or the car, is sitting at this ride height. So we have our 2 degrees of rake into our car. So it's perfect. We got our stance the way we want it. And then we put the motor in, and we set the motor. You want most engines between 1 or 2 degrees of tilt down in the back. So, and I have dial gauge, little magnetic dial gauges, and I use both so I can average it out. But I want to show you, there you go. There's your 2 degrees. So the chassis is down at 2, but the motor is still in its correct orientation of 2 degrees going that way. You know, if you were building this flat, like we've talked about before on the ground, you would have put 2 degrees into it, then you would have raised your car, put your suspension on, lowered your nose down, and you would never get your pinion angle and your driveline angles correct because you built the car flat and then lifted it up and put an angle into it. So what I like to do is build the cars at the ride height and the angle they're gonna run and build everything around that. Is it the right thing to do? I don't know. Never had a problem. Except for when I wrecked my car. But that's what I'm doing. So angle gauges, angles of the transmission and engine, and angle of the chassis. All right, whoa. We're partway through the video now, and I actually have a real question. I'm a couple weeks away from this, but what fuel injection system should we run on this LS? Should we run the Holley Terminator? I have one of those, and it's probably got about 20 miles on it, and it does have a tune in it. Or Snap. Or run this fuel injection system multi-port from Aces. I got one of those laying around too. It's got a couple 100 miles on it. Also has a tune in it. Legit question. Which one do I run? Oh, well, we got the motor plates in, or the motor mounts in, and we're moving on to the transmission mount now. And I got that UMI one that we were looking at earlier. So I got it all unwrapped, got the end plates on it, and it's a nicely made piece. I mean, it's super sweet. I love how they cut it up over the edges so your exhaust runs through there. Problem is, I moved the motor up, so I'll probably have to build a bracket to cover that space or distance. So let's crawl underneath there. I threw a light underneath there. Throw the instructions out of the way. We don't need that. We know how it goes. It goes on the frame. See what we can do. All right. Well, I gotta take my hat off. I can't get underneath here with my hat. Let's see. I hope I don't block the camera any. But this is you can see where the original transmission mounted, and we moved it. Oh yeah, that's a nice piece. That'll work. Sits in that back section nice, but that's a long bracket I gotta build, make up space, because this is only gonna come down maybe an inch or so. Man. Huh. Let's try something else here. Let's see. Come on. Wake up. Come on. Oh. All right. Let's turn it over. See if we can get that. Woo! Oh, holy smokes, man. Let me know. Are you guys with me? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? I couldn't get any luckier. That is holy cow. Let me drop this transmission down on top of it. Oh, yes. Yes. Let's crawl out front real quick and double check our pinion angle. Come on, let's go. Come on. Pinion angle. Oh, man. We lost our 2 degrees. We're at perfect 90 right now. That's okay, right? What can we do? Where's my light? You guys are with me you're with me the whole time on this one. Let's see. What can we do? I know what we can do. Look at that. So there's actually where the mounting surface is, and this is the bottom of the transmission. It's an 1.5 inches, 2 inches up. If I cut this transmission mount down across here on both sides, I can lower that transmission down the inch that it needs, 1.5 inches it needs to get my 2 degrees back. Woohoo! Woo, yeah. Okay. Thank you, UMI, for making an awesome transmission crossmember that even a guy like me can't screw up, and I can't believe it fell into place. I turned it upside down and it fit perfectly. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to call that a win. I'm going to call that a win-win-win. I mean, once I cut those edges down, I should probably do it tonight. But man, I just had a really long day and I'm tired. I think I'm going to call it an hour. That's it. I'm going to call it. And what else are we going to do next? We'll pull that out. We'll trim that. And then we'll weld the outer pieces onto the frame so we can bolt the cross member in and out. And then the motor's in, pinion angle's correct. Then we just got a lot of welding to do. Start finishing our firewall. I'm excited. All right, let me get on this. Yes. With that win, that's it. I'm gonna call the video for this week done. The camera says actually I have 6 hours and 41 minutes worth of video. That's it. Thank you for watching this week. Everything went together so smooth. I love the fact that the UMI cross brace fit in there perfectly. We got the engine where it's supposed to be. We got a lot of stuff going on. You know, I'm probably going to kill the next half an hour, 45 minutes, just doing some little tedious welding and getting it kind of together, a little closer together. And thank you for watching. Click subscribe, please. Just a little click from you, man, makes a big difference. It keeps the project rolling. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Like, subscribe. Till next week.